Guys, feel free hit the subscribe button. So let's recap this weekend, man. As you know personally, I had I had the most fun I've had in a long time. I know some of you guys like hearing the story. Some of you guys just want me to get into boxing. So I'm gonna tell both of you guys. I literally got off the plane, took a $200 Uber ride or a Lyft ride to go see my hero Malcolm X, man. And I just wanted to tell him thank you, man. I can't wait to take my son. We'll get there one day. My son and my daughter, for that matter. And from then on, we saw Serena Williams twice. Got to hang out, went to dinner with a couple other fighters. I don't want to tell you guys because I got a lot of information I need to tell y'all as it relates to what's happening going on. So I can't tell you who I went to dinner with and stuff like that. But I had a great time. It was a great fight. You know, let's talk about the fight. As you guys know, I bet $500 on Shawn Porter, and I picked him to win the fight. And there was a moment in that fight when I realized Shawn was a superior athlete. I don't know who had the better boxing skills in that fight. I really couldn't tell. You know, they both had different agendas. They both had different game plans, and it was evident what both their game plans were. But there was a point in that fight where Shawn threw like a triple jab from the corner or something like that. It was a double jab or a triple jab. And Danny Garcia like couldn't see it, but you saw the explosion. More importantly, I saw the explosion from Shawn. And I was like, Shawn's a better athlete. And because Shawn was the overall better athlete, that's what allowed him to win the fight. I wouldn't blame it on better boxing skills. I thought Shawn's ability to get to his next movement quicker. So from jab to pivot the right hand, pivot the left hook, that was the difference. As you can see in the activity, he threw 300 more punches, but didn't land. Danny Garcia landed 46% of his power shots, and Shawn threw 300 more punches, but only landed 12 more. So his ability to get to his combinations, his ability with his footwork, led him to the victory. Now, you can argue whatever. Shawn is a WBC champion of the world. He deserves it. It took him 20, 25 years to get that. I'm uncertain how old when he first started, but it was before 10. And he's the champion. And I thought that when I watched the fight, I said Shawn Porter won or it's a draw. That's what I felt after the fight. And keep in mind, I got $500 on this fight. I want Shawn to win. But I felt like it was a draw because the same rules apply, but Shawn didn't react to how Keith Thurman hit him, right? Keith Thurman's shots was a little bit harder, and Shawn Porter physically responded different. So that's where I would say that was the biggest difference. Although Keith Thurman moved a whole lot better than Danny Garcia, so you can't really draw a parallel, but the plan was, as Keith Thurman explained in the interview this weekend, was to hit Shawn with some more power shots because of his activity. So it was overall, man, PBC ran a smooth event this weekend. And when I say it was smooth, man. It was no problems. It was seamless. Everything was on time for me. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe the fighters and the teams may beg to differ, but for me personally, I thought it was smoothly run. I had access to everyone I needed to have access to, as you guys can see in the videos. I wasn't declined any interviews or anything like that. I just overall had a great time, man, you know. And I can tell people are getting, well, that's a different story. But what you guys obviously going to happen, what's next? Here's what I can guarantee you. I was on the phone this morning. Errol Spence and Shawn Porter is being negotiated with the network. I don't know, as we speak, currently is being negotiated with the network. So if they're not fighting each other, the only way this fight doesn't happen, there's only one reason this fight doesn't happen where there's no one to blame: if Errol Spence fights Mikey Garcia. And I can't blame him. I genuinely can't blame him for fighting him on pay-per-view and getting 300 pay-per-view buys, and I don't know what his cut is. They'll negotiate that on his own. But I on his own, not the zone, his own. I can't blame him for that. But outside of that, if that doesn't happen, that fight is being negotiated for a network currently and will happen. And I can expect the rumblings to get out. I don't have the date. I don't know what network is on. I'll know more as it moves forward. But I know from someone close to the deal said that fight is being sold, or I don't know, I forget the term they use, but let's say being negotiated. So if they don't fight each other next outside of Mikey Garcia, someone pulled out. Errol Spence or Shawn Porter pulled out of the fight, and that's it. So I really want to see that fight. Errol Spence, Shawn Porter, I think is a hell of a fight. I genuinely believe that Shawn Porter is the toughest opponent for an Errol Spence. He's awkward. He's a little bit different. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to that opening up. But we should be excited, man. Overall, it was a great day. It was some great announcements. PBC has some more fight dates. ESPN has fight dates coming up. So overall, it's just good for boxing, man, that we're able to have, literally, as a media member, if you really wanted to, you can be gone 45 of the 52 weekends a year covering the boxing match. And there's a quality opponent in the main event, A level, B level, but there's a quality opponent. So at the end of the day, I'm thankful and grateful, man, because this is awesome, man. So I'm excited. I'm thoroughly excited. What's to happen in boxing. I'll do a PBC. PBC will have some announcements this week as it relates to what's coming up next. Expect an announcement. I was told by Friday, but let's give them 10 days since they just came off a big card. So let's give them the next 10 days. Expect a big announcement from PBC and all parties involved. So that's my recap for the week. Any questions that I didn't answer? I believe I answered everyone in my DM and emails. I believe I did. If I didn't, it wasn't intentional. Resend it and I'll gladly answer it. I met a few subscribers. It was pretty dope, pretty awesome. It was just overall a beautiful run event, man. No headaches, no hiccups for me personally that I saw. The fight was ran. The only down part was probably Ugas. As I was working during the Ugas fight, I was doing my rent roll to make sure everyone paid their rent because I had to go knock on some doors today because I was out of town on the 5th. So everyone paid their rent. I'm happy. Shawn Porter is well deserved. He's a WBC champion. He earned it. He was the better athlete. I don't know who was the better boxer Saturday night. I'll be honest. I look at it. I can't. But Shawn was a superior athlete. God bless Shawn with the ability of agility and athleticism. Shawn might be one of them guys that could, as a professional athlete, go try out for a football team. Like I don't, for real. Like Nate Robinson was a all-conference cornerback at Washington, but he took that down and became a basketball player. I'm not sure if he could play in NFL, but I'm sure he would look good in an unpadded tryout, like in agilities tests and all that. But yeah, so be excited. Recap, Earl's the conclusion of this video. Shawn Porter deserved that win. He looked great doing it. Errol Spence, Shawn Porter is being sold to a network as we speak currently. So expect that. Expect the big fight in December on the PBC network. I believe they're going to pick it back up in December. The Charlos are coming back. It's just so hard with these concerts in the NBA. It is so hard getting these dates, guys. And I'm being real. That's the problem is scheduling. The NBA is up 41 days, especially when you have two teams in one arena like the Staples Center. It's hard to get dates like this, and you may have this problem in other cities. So you can't put a fighter in a 5-person arena and they can get 9,000. So you want to maximize what you can. So you have college basketball, and it's hard this time of year. You don't want to compete with the NFL. So it's real hard with these dates, and you can't have these fights on the East Coast in the wintertime because the inclement weather, you don't know what the weather is going to be like in December and January. So, it's just, so these are some of the logistics that they have to juggle and make sense of the whole thing. So, but anyways, man, Barbershop Conversations, man, feel free to hit the subscribe button. So fans, don't fret, don't panic. I shouldn't say that. You should fret, you should panic, you should put your expectations, you should put your demands. But if Errol Spence and Shawn Porter don't fight next, and Errol Spence don't fight Mikey Garcia, and I'm not giving Shawn Porter and Mikey Garcia an out. I'm not. I'm just saying that's the only fight because it makes sense in terms of financial gain for both these fighters. So that's it, man. Barbershop Conversations. Only thing I want out of Shawn Porter is Errol Spence. Only thing I want out of Errol Spence is Shawn Porter, and let Keith Thurman do his two what's it called, tune-up fights, as we call them, and late next year maybe he'll be ready and they'll just unify, and then we'll have a PBC unified 147 guy by early 2020, hopefully. So anyways, man, Barbershop Conversations, man, feel free to hit the subscribe button. They got a lot of dates they got to fill, so I will anticipate that Errol Spence, Shawn Porter will be one of them. So Barbershop Conversations, man, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.